Friends, welcome to Leap Interview Series once again. We have Mwalimu Musheshe from Africa. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, sir. It is my pleasure to be with you this afternoon in my country. It is 2 p.m.
Great. Thank you so much for joining. Um, Once again, we have a vice chancellor, a very senior fellow from education. So let me start by asking, tell us about your institution today uh, and what it does, what courses you have, number of students you have, and of course, how long you have been associated and so on.
Okay, as you may already know, or I want to inform you, my name is Mwalimu Musheshe, the first Ashoka Fellow in East Africa. Ashoka is an organization that is global and identifies social entrepreneurs and innovators for the public. The people who have new ideas, new approaches to social challenges, who are articulate about the vision of Africa. And that's how I became the first Ashoka Fellow, because I articulated the African Rural University.
Wow.
The first university for women in the region. But it's not about numbers. It is about the form and also content. We figured that we needed a university that can groom, train visionary leaders, especially women, who have competence, fluence, and mastery in the following areas. One, structural dynamics, where people visualize the future, they have aspirations, they crystallize them into clear pictures of what they want to create. They look at what they have, current reality in relation to what they want to create, and appreciate the difference or the discrepancy between the desired future and the current situation, and therefore design action steps that are relevant to move them from the status quo to the desired state. And this is a departure from the traditional problem-solving approach. This is what we call the visionary approach, using the principles of the creative process. The vision, current reality, structural tension. As you may be aware, in physics, tension seeks resolution. So if you have a discrepancy between two situations, there will be tension, and there is a want to resolve that. So that's what we teach. The second one is what we call systems, also dynamics. Systems dynamics is looking at, you are living in an ecosystem. What are the factors in play, forces in play, the issues that must come together, what you must align, and how you can build synergy in order to create that change based on the vision you hold. So we ask ourselves, is there a relationship between water, agriculture and nature, nature and wildlife and people and mycelium, mushrooms, etc. So to see the interconnection and the interrelationship between different disciplines. So our university is built to create those kinds of thought processes, thought systems based on social and the real science of physics, quantum physics, and the engineering design, but in the social construct.
Excellent. That's really wonderful. So tell us about your journey with this institution. How long you have been associated with the current institution that you're in? How many years?
Yeah, first and foremost, this is an idea which was conceived way back in 1981. As you may be aware, Uganda has been going through turbulent times, social conflict wars. But this is not only for Uganda, it is also for Africa. And you can draw a lesson from Ethiopia, which used to have every 10 years very serious bouts of famine and hunger. Then we have also persistent hunger in Africa. So we said we must come up with an innovative way, not just to react to hunger and famine, not to react to war and conflicts, but to start saying, what kind of Africa do we want to create? What kind of Uganda do we want to create? What kind of families do we want and communities? So based on that one, we designed an intervention called Uganda Rural Development and Training Program, a non-government organization. But in order to propagate the visionary approach, we came up with different pathways. And one of the pathways in education, another pathways in governance, another pathway in community engagement, another pathway in communication. We have a radio station, etc., etc., so that these ones can align and create synergy for mindset change among the communities, the population, and the leaders in this country in Africa. So it is an old idea, except when the governments in East Africa had not positioned themselves to expand and open space for innovations, creativity in higher education until 1991. So we wrote our constitution in 1987 that we must start a university, but we couldn't start because of the laws.
Correct.
But even when we started, we came up with ideas which were not in the template of universities, because the universities in Africa for a long time have been a mirror reflection of Western universities. Right. And it's not by surprise, because I remember when we were young, we did exams that were set up by London. We did exams that were set by Cambridge. We did exams that were set by Harvard. So that kind of socialization gave us a disorientation. But our generation said we must break out of that one, not in protestation, but in a way of liberating our thoughts and doing things different in the context of our communities, in the context of Africa, of course, in the global setting.
Excellent. And so how many students are studying right now?
Pardon?
In your institution,
yes.
How many students are studying?
Yeah, we also by design, because we do what we call practical education.
Yeah.
Blended with theory education. Now, practical, we are doing it in the field with the communities. Now, because of that, there is a lot of need for mentorship.
Yeah.
There is a need for coaching. There is a need for tutoring. There is a need for supervision. And to do that, you don't need big numbers. Otherwise, it becomes a mass movement of learners. So we don't take more than 30 students per program. And so far, we have 2 programs. One program for rural development, another program for sustainable agriculture. And these systems dynamics, the structural dynamics are core areas, because it's not about do. It's about thinking first, having a mental picture of what you desire, and then designing strategies consonant to what you want to do. Because for a long time, our education has been putting us do like we are machines. And now we are saying, let us think, be purposeful about what we want to do, and articulate the strategies. So in so doing, you can mobilize the community interest, you can mobilize the leadership interest, you can mobilize the intellect interest and the faculty, so that you work together to transform. So it is not about the numbers for us, it is quality, which will help us to expand with time. Here we have actually an expression that Christianity is in the billions. Islam is in the billions of people. But guess who started it? One person, an innovator.
Right.
Jesus Christ or Muhammad, or even in Buddhism, there is always a seed that plants, then it keeps on what we call expanding in order to create the ritual effect. So we said if we run for numbers, we are going to dilute the quality. We are going to dilute the thought process, the tenets and the elements that are needed. Let it grow organically over a period of time. Where are we rushing to? You can end up doing what we call the fix that backfires.
Fantastic. So you have two programs.
Pardon?
You have two programs, you said, right?
Yes, for now. But we have registered 5 programs. But again, we are taking step by step.
Yes.
Because every graduation, we have to ensure the students, the graduates are absorbed. And so far, URDT has absorbed more than 80 students we have trained, and now they are in the communities doing what we call mobilization, conscientization, conscious raising, so that the communities can take charge of their own development.
Fantastic, fantastic. And how are you coping up with the latest digital stuff and all the technology? How are you trying to make your students ready for the digital world?
Okay, I think first and foremost, we were aware and conscious that we are drawing the faculty from the traditional institutions. So therefore, we invite people who, one, are willing to learn and deal with their mindsets.
Right.
2, people who like to innovate, to unlearn in order to learn, and to test out new methods of doing work. So every Thursday, we have a program of learning with our faculty.
Wow.
Exploring these new areas of innovation, including now artificial intelligence and other adaptive and useful technologies. Then also we make sure that in the governance, our councils, our boards also buy in and also learn with the faculty so that we are on the same page. Because you cannot give what you don't have. So you have to you have to be fluent in the language, you have to be fluent in the practice in order to enable the young people or the students to learn. So it is blend. You train the staff, we train the council, we train the students, then we learn together. Every morning, between 7:45 to 9, we have an assembly. We call it the foundation course. So it is in that foundation course that we invite members of the community, members of the faculty, and the students to learn together without hierarchy. Because for a long time, the pyramid, those are on top, these are on the bottom, have spoiled learning in our situation. Right. So we sit all together in the learning situation and learn together. The students share their experiences, the community members share their experiences, and we all become learners in that context. So that's how we are managing to organize ourselves. Instead of looking at what failed, we are saying, yes, that is our history. Can we transcend and we come up with a new way of thinking and doing things?
Fantastic. So thank you so much for your time, and the information that you shared is really amazing. It is inspiring what you're doing. You're focusing on the quality of the education. You have variety of activities to develop your students. Practical training is your focus. So students go and work in the community, which is fantastic. So I really want to recognize and thank you and appreciate your efforts and the efforts of your fellow colleagues, other faculties, and any other contributors to your institution, I would like to appreciate them for doing this wonderful work.